moly. Hey, gang. Hi. Oh my God. Testing one, two. Can you hear me? I have stories. Okay, let's see here. Okay, wait. Okay. All right, I'm here. Okay, you guys. Hold on. I'm trying to get drums going. Here we go. Any day now. Okay. So, can you hear me? I sound just good. I'm so sorry. I actually set the time for this at 8 o'clock. At least I thought I did. And then just now, when I went to set my phone up and start getting prepped and everything, it's like, oh shit! It says 7:30. So, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here, you guys. Um, I'm going to take a moment and back way up because I can see the conversation has been lively and wonderful. It's amazing. Hold on. Let me get. Whoops. Oh my God. Okay. Woohoo! I was going to change my shirt. Never mind. All right. So, Darcy, hello, baby. Hello, Emrys. Hello, Laura. Hello, Roxanne. Hello, Tavia. Hello, baby Joe. Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. Hello, Samantha. The gang is here. Yeah, all except the one that called them together. So, oh my gosh. Oh, Darcy, yep, I was thinking about you today. I know you're gonna kick their butts. Hi, Becca. Ah, she's talking, Laura. Darcy's gonna talk about the crystal skulls. Yes. Oh my goodness. Hello, Natalie. Welcome, darling. Whoopsie. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. And you guys have been sitting here just having a wonderful little conversation amongst yourselves. Like, yay. Okay. Okay. Did my broom break down? My brain broke down. Okay. I'll have the broom repair. Yeah, no kidding. Well, okay, we're going to turn these down just a bit. Just a bit. That's better. First of all, the cable nightmare is ongoing, or the internet nightmare. I, for one hot second last Friday, got delivered a download speed of 314 Mbps, and then it was gone again. So it's crazy. That's what I'm supposed to be getting, and I did all this wangling, and I finally got a test to show that number, and then it went away again. So I will be back on the phone with the cable company soon. Um, but I have several orders of business that I want to talk about. A couple of rants. But the first one is that we are under solar storms. We've taken a couple M-class solar flares. They've been coming thick and fast. Like over the last week, there's been at least one major flare heading in Earth direction. There's been a couple CMEs, coronal mass ejections, and with Earth's weakening magnetic field, these can have higher impact than normal. So we've been under geomagnetic and solar storm conditions, and what that affects is it particularly affects people with heart conditions, with anxiety disorders, and seizure disorders and migraine. So there are certain categories of people that have are at risk medically with these things. Let me finish getting ready here. So be aware of that. And last night I just, I was all ready and getting ready to pick decks and everything, and it was just like, I just got hit with this and all my energy was gone, and I thought, I cannot do an uphill climb like this. So thankfully you are patient and kind, and so here I am. But the first thing that I have is a kind of a troublesome thing, and that is, I was talking last week about Z Budapest, and I've mentioned her, a bunch of times. And she wrote the Holy Book of Women's Mysteries. She wrote The Grandmother of Time and Grandmother Moon, all excellent books. She is the founder of Dianic Wicca. And, that if I claim any denomination, although with my minister's license I call myself non-denominational. So I'm not Wiccan, I'm not Gardnerian, or I have training in Gardner, whatever. But Dianic is a sect of the craft that follows just the goddess exclusive, does not invoke the god. And that is most descriptive of what my practice has been over the years. So over the last week or so, I follow her on Facebook. There have been 3 posts that just made me go, what the fuck? The first one was a post that she wrote praising Viktor Orban. And if you don't know who he is, he's the Prime Minister of Hungary. He's a fascist. He just spoke at the CPAC like a month ago, for the Republicans, who are just like licking his boots. Sorry, I'm getting wires out of my way here. He is driving towards what he calls a Christian democracy, or an illiberal democracy is what he's talking about. So state religion, state-controlled everything. And she was writing to praise what he's done in Hungary, and how much money he's spent on education. She lives in California, by the way, and has for decades. So that was the first one. And my, initial thing is, okay, there are things I don't know. She's Hungarian. Maybe, people that will, whatever. There are things I don't know. But you don't get around the blatant fascism. The second one was she shared a political cartoon of right after Mar-a-Lago got raided. And it was this, like... it was a vehicle that was labeled FBI, and it had run over the Statue of Liberty, and she's laying in the road like this, and I can't remember if Trump might have been in it, but it was, a statement about the FBI running over his rights and running over liberty, and it's like, okay, that was a legal search warrant signed off by a judge, and okay, confused. That one, then I got really confused. And then today was one in praise of J.K. Rowling, who, yes, has given so much money to charity, and that's a wonderful thing. And I know there are many who still get a lot from her stories. And she's a transphobe. And she has refused to back down from her transphobic remarks and her inaccurate remarks, even over the clamoring of her fans, who are, social justice warriors, and people saying, you've got this wrong, Joe, please listen, please listen to the trans people, and she has refused. So my first thing was my Plutonian reaction, which is, I'm out, see ya. And I said, my trans son and I vehemently disagree with you. And then I guess Joe is in a war of words with someone about something. I don't know what. But anyway, it's like, yeah, I'm not down with that. But, and then I went back and I posted again because Z Budapest is 82 years old. And my sister-in-law and I were just talking about this yesterday. I said, I need to know that you're medically okay because the things that you've posted over the last week or so seem wildly out of character from the values that you express in your earlier writings. And at 82 years old, we are all susceptible to a lot of things. And, a UTI is one of them. Deadly serious. Somebody please check and see if she's got a UTI because it can cause delirium. And if not, then, see ya. But, I'll treasure the writings and the things that I learned from her and everything else. But it's like, and there were, many others. Some people were absolutely flaming. Some people were agreeing with her, and others were just like going, did you get hacked? What's going on? So that was troubling. And again, people change, so I don't know her personally. I know her writings. I know how I interpret her writings, but she's pretty goddamn clear. And the post about Joe was saying, thank you for supporting women. And yes, she has. And when you are a public personality and you hold these personal views and you put them out in your public forum, you better be prepared to listen to what the people who put you and gave you your millions have to say, and hopefully be open-minded enough to think maybe my thinking is off. Times are changing. So, my thing, when I went downstairs and was ranting to my family about it, and I came back upstairs, and it's like, please, Goddess, allow my brain to continue to change. More, new folds every day. So that was the most troubling one. And then the next one is just kind of, it's a funny thing, and it's a good teaching opportunity. So the Buddhists say, particularly the Tibetans, that everything is an opportunity to learn. And if you are here to learn to deal, with your ego, to learn that your thoughts are the thing that leads you the wrong direction every single time, then this is good news, because every time your thoughts lead you astray and you get caught out in them, it's an opportunity to practice, right? So there was a story that came, a little meme that came across about a Buddhist monk who decided to go to this island, this little isolated island, in order to meditate in solitude. So he rows over and he gets it and he's meditating. The first morning there, he's up at sunrise, everything's beautiful. He's meditating, it's peaceful and calm, and he hears a boat scraping on the shore, and immediately he gets pissed off. They're supposed to leave me alone. Now somebody got right. He's all angry, and he opens his eyes and sees that it's an empty boat. It's just a boat that happened to drift across the lake and grate on the thing. And he attains enlightenment because he has the realization, oh, the angry is inside me. It's not something or somebody out there that is trying to spoil my good time. The anger lives inside me. It's something that I have to deal with. And I've witnessed this as it's gotten very beautifully cool at the end of August, after a solid month of being really hot. It's gotten cool, and, the bitching has started about, I'm freezing, and it's supposed to be hot, and what's wrong with us, August, this is what summer's supposed to be like. I have an ideal in my head. And when anything varies from that ideal, I get angry. But as Trungpa Rinpoche says, there is no cure for hot and cold. And it's a learning moment. It's an opportunity for practice, and this is what the Tibetans are talking about. These are not just opportunities to, learn something, but opportunities to practice. And what does that mean? It means I want it to be hot. Desire, one of the forms of suffering, right? Attachment. I desire it to be hot because my ideal is August feels like this. And when this happens, the opportunity to practice is I'm going to be in what's happening now without judgment. So without judging the shift in the weather, that it's supposed to be one way or another. Um, Byron Katie would say, you know, is it supposed to be? That's like an external fictional ideal. What's supposed to be is what is. There's no supposed to, it is. So the isness of it is it's cooler and it's beautifully cool. Oh, it's golden hour. I'm looking, the trees are absolutely on fire through the green leaves. Cool air coming in the window. And so we can take that opportunity to practice and go, woof, anger just got triggered in me. Let's sit and be here now. Let's feel the coolness and try not judging it and see what happens. You know? So those are my little rants and the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Because it's just been, you know, life is a lot right now, you guys. It's a lot. And also, you know, when things that we have no control over bump up against how we feel they should be, we can have anger that we're not allowed to express about other things that really, you know, are angering and enraging. And so if we don't express that energy, something really truly neutral like weather, one way or another, can trigger that anger and let us know that there's something, there's a boundary I need to set or something I need to express in order to move on, you know, in order to move closer to inner peace, in order to regain my center, you know, so that I'm in the now, in this experience without projecting good, bad, all that other stuff on top of it. So whatever weather you're having, I hope that you're able to be in it with a minimum of upset and bitching. I mean, sometimes we gotta bitch, right? We just gotta. But I want you to feel good. I want you to feel good and present and functional and peaceful in as many moments as you can manage to claim those things in. I wish that for you. So, rant's over. Tonight, we're going to slightly, you know, ever so slightly abbreviate because 2 hours is a lot. And there's, you know, not just 6 decks, but then there's the dice and there's the this and there's the this. So, and now you get to witness my difficulty in paring things down. So I've put the Earthbound Oracle in with the rest of the decks, so it gets a chance to speak on its own as well. Because if you saw the post right after last week's live, where I said, you know, I'll give this a chance to speak for itself, and you see what I laid out there, it was just mind-blowingly wonderful. So this deck gets to have its own chance to speak rather than telling what the other decks are going to talk about. It may do that as well. And then I specifically went for some decks that don't require me to go deep, you know. So I'll tell you what the decks are, then we'll do a little grounding. Let me light things. I didn't even put my charcoal out because I got caught. Let's light up the charcoal. Okay. I'm going to, back up. 9:15 Friday morning. Wow. So you're 13 hours ahead of us. Okay, how can it be 9:15 when it's 8:04 here? I thought the time zones went by full hour increments. Ooh, Nelly, you got me curious now. Okay. Catching up. Good winter's morning. Yep, splitting headaches, bad anxiety, absolutely, just kind of spinny and not focusy. Yay! Thank you for the Reiki coming from Little Mac's skull, Darcy. Okay, you guys, yeah, headaches. I know, it's really... Tamitha Mulligan. Okay. Um, Mine, Suspicious Observers is the dude that I feel like I've already said this. It was probably just going on in my neurodivergent mind. I follow a channel called Suspicious Observers, and his science is good. He goes every morning, he'll show the last 24 hours on the sun, any events that have happened, and how it's affecting Earth, how things are going to, impact us or go by us or whatever. He's a little out there on some things, but again, I don't need to like him personally. Scientifically, I find what he has to say sound. He's showing the sun, he's showing the meters and everything, and giving us solar weather forecasts. But if there's somebody else that's a little bit not out on the fringe there, I would appreciate that. So I'm writing that down. Tamitha Mulligan. Okay. Thank you for that, Marcy. You are such a great resource for me, darling. Okay, Becca, let's see what you said. Z Budapest, that is, but JK2. What else did you say? Oh, hi, Silver Spiral. Hello, darling. I missed you there because the comments are going. Okay. Wait till the... Okay. So yes, the Schumann resonance. I was going to check that today, and I didn't. Incredibly high last week. Yes, yes. Yeah, we're taking a lot of energetic hits. Oh, Kira, Marcy's little Black Panther. I wonder where Pi is. Pi, where it? I don't know if you guys can see in the hallway there. You can barely see it. There's just like red light coming in. The trees are getting more golden. Ah. Yes, thank you for that, Samantha. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe. If you want to join in on the chat, you have to be subscribed for at least 1 minute. I have high standards. big hoops you got to jump through here. I know this is my last roll of charcoal too, Samantha. 9:40. That's really fucking weird, Natalie. Hi, House of Elarak. Carol, right? Yes, hello, Carol. Same, yeah, I have that, and I have a pair of brass tongs too for the charcoals. All right, everybody. Now, let's do a little bit of a smoke cleanse. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. The smell of ritual is a wondrous thing. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. Welcome, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. I just saw Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula. Welcome, Mr. Harker, to my home. Welcome, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, to my home, to our little worldwide easy bake coven here. I offer you fresh water. I offer you fire of Azrael. Please come and bring your energy to these wonderful, wonderful decks, to our last live of Leo season. So, so good. I send you this incredible smell. I wish I could send it straight to you. You can see how much I like it. Hello, can you see me? Okay, so yes, and I offer to the decks the sound of the bell. May the spirit inside of you activate and awaken. Let's all plug in to our source, plug into our connection, plug into Earth as well. Feel your psychic senses activate. All of this energy that's flowing past, make sure you put your root down into the earth and bring your shields around you. I'm not going to walk us all through it. And you know what? Yes, I am. It's going to be a short one. Okay, put your root down, everybody. Put your feet flat on the floor. I keep trying to trim, and I'm just not going to, so I give up. Okay. Down into the earth. Drain, drain, drain everything you don't need. Do it quick. And then let earth energy start rising up that root. Every time you inhale, you feel it rush up into your body. Feel it rushing down your legs to your feet. Feel it rushing up your torso to your shoulders, rushing down your arms, rushing up to the top of your head. Feel it swirling around inside your body, cleaning everything instantly. On the next out breath, let it all the way out. On the next in breath, inhale, crank up the energy very bright. Exhale, only the breath, keep the energy. Again. Release only the breath. Again. Send it out the crown with the breath. Watch it go up and down and around. Feel this egg of energy come all around you, down to the ground, close around your root below your feet. Feel that shield, and now take another deep breath and breathe out through all the pores of your skin. And as you do, push everything that you don't need out of this egg. One more bell to clear the energy inside the egg. Feel that sound come in and clean out everything close to your physical body. Clean out all the energy you don't need. Feel the strength of that egg that's around you. It is alive and moving and protecting. And you can imagine all this solar energy coming at us. Just let it bounce off of that. And as the earth energy runs through your energy system and out and back down into the earth, you are filtering as well. Filtering out the things and sending it back more clean to earth. All right. Let's let in cosmic energy too, but only through the filter. To activate the third eye, activate the crown, and bring in good information. Okay. Now, first deck we have is Chubby Bun. This is the one that I unboxed on Monday. It's adorable. And yes, it does have a lot to say. Then here's me trying to trim only down to 3 Oracle decks, but you know, I included this one, so of course we have 2 here. Therapets and Inner Fucking Peace cards, because I think they will pair well together, one from each. And so this is where, you know, these decks that are not heavy divining decks, they're just messages, because we need just a little bit of levity. This, the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck, one of the most just unbelievably beautiful decks in the collection. These are also, the Chubby Bun and the Inner Fucking Peace and Therapets are decks with no book. Ethereal Visions has a book. Earthbound Oracle does not. So there is a bit of a theme here. Here's the Earthbound Oracle. All of these, you can find the unboxings on the channel. And then we have a classic. We've got the Sacred Rose. Someone commented on this video that's from like 2 years ago today, and I love it when people comment, and because it sends me for that deck. Such a good deck. And then the last stack is the Spiritual AF deck. It's weird. Oh, okay. So again, some levity with our lessons. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, as she used to say. Old Mary. All right. Let's go to the Astro Dice. What do we need to know about tonight? We have Jupiter. We're under a Taurus moon tonight. Jupiter in Leo in the 6th house. Wow. This is talking about the benevolent leader in a work situation. Really. Leo is leadership. 6th house, the context of 6th house is your work environment, your work ethics, and also your physical health. Any physical health issues you may have. And Jupiter, of course, is the expansion principle. Jupiter is Santa Claus. Jupiter is humor and gifts and philosophy and understanding, expansion, exploration, adventure, philosophy, all of these wonderful things that expand. So talking about the energy of, in the 6th house, we're talking about bringing benefit. Jupiter is the greater benefic. Jupiter's greater benefic, Venus is the lesser. So these are the two, classically good luck and love planets. Jupiter rules luck. Just like Saturn and Mars are the greater and the lesser malefics. So this is the Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus. The gift giver, the benefit bringer, the expander. And Leo is leadership. Thank you for this on our last Leo season live. Leo is the kind of leadership that knows that is a service job. And Leo also rules the 5th house, the house of play. So that's my intention for tonight, and really for every night that I do this is sacred play. And it's funny because in my natal chart, Pisces sits on my 5th house cusp. I'm going to start flipping words around again. 5th house is how you have fun. It's the house of fun. It's the fun house. How you like to play, how, romance, that playing with love. Romance is the unserious kind of love, or just the woohoo fun kind of love, or part of love. And so that 5th house is ruled by Neptune for me. So how do I like to have fun? And that Neptune sits in Scorpio in my 12th house. Neptune's, how do I like to have fun? By escaping Neptune things, by art, by doing psychic things, psychic play. This is fun. So talk about fun in a way that sheds light, that brings, that shows the way forward. So Leo being ruled by the sun, and we talk about leadership. Well, what's leadership? Shining the light on the path. The sun shining on the path forward. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the way we're going to go. And making that path visible to people so they can choose to follow. So it's not blind following. It's following with eyes open and being able to be led, And so I look back at like Joe Rowling and think about, here are your fans who you kind of raised in a way, and they're trying to shed a light for you and show you a path that you're not seeing. and a truth you're not seeing, and there's that refusal. So shining a light on the path, and what's the context here? How we work, our work ethics, and our physical health. So I think physical health is what's really pulling me tonight. So we need to be good to ourselves. We need to shine the light on our path forward. How are we going to take care of ourselves going forward? Through seasonal changes, through solar storms and geomagnetic storms. What are the practices that we need to do? Sixth house is also, routines, regimens for health, processes. How are we going to be good to ourselves and shine the light on our path forward as far as taking care of our own health so that we can be functional? So that we can be functional. And what else is sixth house? Service. Why do we want to be functional? So that we can serve. So we can serve the goddess, so that we can serve people that look to us for wisdom or guidance in any form. People that look to us as a model, so that we can serve. All right, there we go. Now, hold up. I won't put quite so much on this time. All right. Little red eye. Oh, are you on? Oh, you are on. So I've had this on, and it has gone off a couple of just totally random times because I forget that I have it on because it rests. So I'm turning that back on, and Jessica in particular, I'm talking to you. There you go. Show me if you want to catch my attention. Okay, catching up. Okay. Playfully faithful, not fearfully petrified, remembering playing it. Yes, playing is how we create. Playing is how we learn. This is why schools have gone so wrong. They have completely ignored and forgotten the fact that children learn through play, not through drudgery and work and memorization and testing. Okay. Description of Leo, reminding you of your father. Oh, I'm so sorry, Marcy. I'm glad that you had a father that you can miss and that you looked up to. That's right. And this is where, yes, you can see family relationships in charts. So Marcy had a Leo father, and she has Leo rising. My father was an Aquarius with Pisces rising and the Scorpio moon. I'm Leo with Scorpio rising, Pisces moon. My son is Aquarius with Scorpio rising, Pisces moon. So, and my daughter, Leo, Scorpio rising, Aquarius moon. So there's the Aquarius connect. Yes, so there's, you can see family relations. Yep. Oh, Samantha, that's sweet. Separate the teaching from the teacher. Yes, Tavia, absolutely. I was ready to say, I'm going to take your books off my shelf. It's like, no, those books are still wonderful. But something has gone off, and it seems to have gone off quickly, maybe. And so that's why it's like, okay, part of my practice, my judgmental plutonic ass, is step back from the judgment and the I'm done, and okay, what could be going on here, and just expressing that this concerns me and I hope this isn't going on, but then I am stepping back because I don't need that shit in my feed. Okay, yes. To love the art, music, not the artist. Yeah, absolutely, Tavia. Everyone is a product of their time, and when people have contributed amazing things that continue to be amazing, there was a thing called the HPA, the Harry Potter Alliance, that started as a social justice activism training school. Based on the books, and it's fabulous. They have, levels. It's just incredibly well done, and I think they have changed their name now to Fandom Forward, I think it is, because they had a lot of other fandoms to tap into who were also active in that way, and this allowed them to step more towards the, all of these fandoms that are doing this social justice work, and step away from the problematic stuff. So yeah, life is subtle. Life is complicated, and the more we can bend and the more we can change, remember the cardinal rule of neurolinguistic programming. The person with the greatest capacity for change wins. Always. Oh, yeah, see? Those family relationships. Yep, it is a hoot, Doris. If you want to convince somebody, say, give me all your family's charts, you know? All right. All right, number 5 is up first, and that is the Sacred Rose. And we're not going to, it's like this, 2 decks with books. I'm not going to worry about the books tonight. So, Sacred Rose, and we are going to maybe, I'm just going to read. And I just put my candle out. I do like to laugh, and I like to laugh at myself too. It took me a long time to learn how. All right. So maybe we do want to just cut the Earthbound and see what we get. One more. Lost in the Shuffle. That's a great channel name. Here comes the Sword of Truth. Let's shuffle the Earthbound and take one. Oh, we've got 18 in the chat right now. Yeah. Hey, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Give me one card, please. I'm going to cut. Balance. Ooh. What a pair, huh? So, in the bigger context of how do we up our game as far as our generosity to ourselves? Let's move you over here. So we have the Sword of Truth and the Sword of Balance. It's double-edged. Sorry. Swords in the tarot represent the mind. You all know that. And this double-edged sword talks about, that our thoughts can go take us this way or that way. They can lead us to understanding and improving the world and, joining with people in as far as our minds go, understanding someone's, motivation and their ideas. It can create incredible works of art and invention and, compassion. And they can also write us like a demon from the 7th level of hell. If we are using our thoughts to talk about how the weather should be, but it's not, so I'm pissed off. Yeah? That takes us out of balance. Give me 3. Holy shit. Okay, what was I talking about doing light tonight? We've got the Ace of Swords, and now we have the 9 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. All right. So, the Ace of Swords says to achieve balance, we need to really raise the Sword of Truth and look at things clearly and objectively, maybe being able to see our habits of mind. And think about, not while you're in the thick of it. This is why we practice meditation when things aren't, all hell is not breaking loose. Because we want that state to be available to us when all hell is breaking loose. So in order to achieve that balance, in times when we are feeling balanced, maybe we can look at ourselves and our habits of mind. And, what is the truth of this? What do I do? And it can be just deucedly hard to see yourself, and what you put out there. But we're witches after all, and we're pretty fucking powerful. And we have the ability to penetrate, like that sword, penetrate within, to see the reality of our own behaviors. 9 of Swords says, well, Nine of Swords is grief and hardship and loss and, feeling all those terrible things. So we get pitched into, all right, hold on a second. Looking about those times when we are getting pitched into this pit. And then Six of Swords talks about the way out. What's the way out of our suffering? Here we go, suffering, the way out of suffering and into balance. And the way out is through review, through assessment, through looking at, and see, this is how spell work can be so very powerful, because when you do spell work and you track it, you put these things in your journal. Then when you get to the end, so for instance, let's say you do a spell at Ostara and you think about, here are the things that I want to grow, that I want to plant in the spring. And then we hit summer and you're like, okay, here are the things that I would like to harvest by the end of the summer. And then we get to the harvest festivals. We've had Lammas. Fall equinox is the next one to come up, and then we have Samhain. So those are times where you assess, what did I plant in the spring? What have I nurtured over the summer? What have I grown? What am I harvesting now? And then we review, we assess. It's time to start cutting the crops down, cutting down the corn, and seeing what we have in our storehouse for the winter. But we can, this I'm looking at as penetrating into the deep mind and our habits of mind to see the source of our suffering. And then to find the way out. How do we navigate out of troubled waters? It is through practice. It's through meditation practice. It's through being consciously, consciously aware of our stress levels. And the things that we do, what is symptomatic of us being terribly stressed, and bringing those into our consciousness so that we can recognize when we are exhibiting symptoms and when we are really suffering. And then we know that we have to bust into this benevolent leader role and guide ourselves out, shine a light on the path. And whether you feel like it, this is the hardest part, you guys, you know this. To catch yourself in the middle of it when you're feeling oh so very shitty and wanting to lash out at the weather in anger or whatever, it is that is manifesting as a symptom. It's at that time where we have to kind of swim against that tide and go to our practice tools. It's very important to have a range of tools at your disposal. So you have something that you can do in 2 minutes. Okay, I can do a Taramala in 2 minutes. There's something you can do in, 10 minutes. I can do a white Taramala in 10 minutes. There's something you can do in half an hour. That's a Kelly Howell meditation. Slap on the headphones and lay down and let go, So we have to become our own leader, to lead our own suffering self out of where we happen to be caught, and lead us to, so this bridge here is the practice that helps you to come to this place. And then once you're out, you can look back and go, okay, what were the red flags that I can notice maybe hopefully quicker next time, so that I don't have to be in full-blown crisis or crash mode before I do something for myself. So this is that card that says, what am I harvesting? And then we can, reassess. So when you do spell work, and of course that big spell work that really works when you're moving the big shit, everything falls apart. Things fall apart. You get hit with what's in the way of you manifesting, first of all, so you can seem to be getting hit with the opposite of what you think, what you worked for. You're being shown. And so this is the card of review, being able to look at it and go, okay, here's what's actually manifesting. And then, practice. Let's do this. Oh, we got Judgment and the Empress. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And Judgment is transformation. So by doing practices and letting them become more of a habit and become more accessible to your brain when your brain is not in that state, and then we can review, how do these things work for me? What's my toolbox? Give me an easy resource, a list of all the things that I can do that have helped me in the past, so I don't have to try to come up with it out of my own harried, suffering brain. You know, set up a thing. Okay, I'm having a hard time. Here are the things that help me. What can I do? And everything, you know, there's stuff under every element. There's the meditations that can be under the air element. There's you can get in an Epsom salts bath. I have the best shit that my daughter has sent me a couple of times, and I'm now buying it myself. But it is Epsom salts with arnica in it, and I mean to tell you, it knocks out pain so fast. So there's water that if you're, in chaos and in an angry mood and suffering because you're in pain, oh my God, that you don't even recognize you're in pain. There are things that you can do. You can drum, you can have a fire, you can do, whatever you need to do to move your energy. But judgment says then we transform. These things can help us transform and rise again. This is a card of death and rebirth. Can help us let go of that old suffering state and rise again. And of course, the Empress is talking to us about nurturing ourselves. Nurturing ourselves. And then we've got Two of Pentacles there, which is what? Balance. Looky. Balance. Balance. Okay. Alrighty then. I have not used this deck often enough recently, and this is, one of my early decks as well. Late 80s, early 90s. I'd have to look at the copyright on it, but it's one of the decks that after or before I did the tape thing on it, it's, it was showing some pretty good wear. All right. Thank you, dear Sacred Rose. That was amazing. All right. Now, who is next? Have to put Earthbound back in its place. 5. We just did that, darling. We just did that, darling. 2. And now I'm going to look at messages. Oh my God, Silver. All right, what's your name again, Silver Spiral? I can't remember. Catherine? No. Yes? Oh God, my brain. My brain. You have Jupiter and Leo in the 6th house. Well, then you got a little mini reading there, didn't you? I'm curious if Leo rules your 6th or if it's Cancer. Thank you, Marcy. Yes. Hit that like button. Hit it, hit it. Uranus in Leo in the 6th. Okay. Wow. Yep. Doris, I have Leo as my midheaven too. Pluto in White Moon, Selena. Okay, there's all kinds of things that I just have not added in my astrological practice. Public speaking, yeah, with the Leo midheaven. You betcha. Uranus and service. Well, Uranus being the planet of humanitarian endeavors. Like poking people with your sword. I'm glad it was helpful, Laura. It helped me. Catherine, that's okay. I thought so, but too many things to remember, and I have a hard time with those to begin with. Hello, Jessica. Welcome. All right. Leo rules your 6th. Okay. All right. So Sun ruling your 6th. Well, that's born leader in the workplace. Born to be a leader, a boss, and be that benevolent ruler. There you go. Okay, so Leo in the 6th. Sag midheaven? Catherine? Preps? Oh, 2. Decks 2. Okay, so here we go with these 2. Therapets and Inner Fucking Peace cards. Kie was with us last week. She's the one that got me these Inner Fucking Peace cards. Okay. What do we need to know about? I don't think I'm going to do the earthbound for this one. These are their own thing. Okay. Just give me one. Just give me one, and we'll pair it with the Therapets. And see how it goes. What do we need to know? Okay. So Jupiter, that rules your midheaven, sits in your 6th house that is ruled by, sits in Leo. Okay. When you have a 6th house midheaven connection like that, your day job is also your career most of the time. But I would say, yes, you were born to lead in the workplace, and that could be an entrepreneurial placement there. All right, we're going to take the one off the top. Activate activate purr mantra. Oh my God, the power of meow. Isn't it adorable? Oh my God, look at this little maneki neko. Kawaii desu ne. And what a perfect thing to go into the Therapets. Okay. The power of meow. So, oh my God, it is so humid right now. You'll be able to watch my hair curl, maybe. All right, this is the one that wants to come. Hey, you matter. Thanks for existing. Okay. I mean, that's just its message all on its own. But the power of meow, let's talk about that a little bit. And the purr mantra. So think about, I know that I have things that I say. I swear a lot, you know that. But I swear way more than you guys know. But I have things, just expletives that I use to throw off that kind of stress energy. And studies have shown that swearing is very healing, that it does help you reduce your stress levels. You feel like you're letting something go. But when we say things repeatedly like, I'm so dumb, I'm so fucking stupid, what a fucking idiot. If you catch yourself abusing yourself like that, that's an important thing. That's kind of a mantra. It's a negative mantra. And so it really helps to become aware of those behaviors as well. Do you have things that you habitually say that you would never, ever say if it was a spell? Think about those things. And one of my last Hogwarts sessions, we did a version of Hey Jude, but it was Hey Dude, and it was all about self-talk and becoming your own best friend. And they made these little heart-shaped mirrors, which was like holographic silvery paper, so you don't see a clear image, you see, and it was so that they could use it to talk to themselves in a positive way and to remind themselves to use positive self-talk. So the power of meow talks about, and especially activate purr mantra, instead of those negative mantras. You at the very least need to spend as much time in purr mantra mode that as you do in slur mantra mode. So purr mantra versus slur mantra. And I know when Pyewacket was a baby, and even now, I will pick him up and I will stuff my face in his neck and go, and I will purr into him and he will immediately start purring back. And, people that have cats and have been ill, and the cats will come up and lay on them and purr. It's a healing frequency. It really is. So you don't even have to have like an actual mantra, in Sanskrit or Tibetan or whatever. You can just make the sound of a purr. You can hum. Humming is wonderful for your vagus nerve. It tones the vagus nerve. And if you can, I'm sure I can't get it because I'm not warmed up, but if you can drop that down to where you're vibrating this whole channel here, it's amazing. But humming and singing are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things for your vagus nerve. And that kind of regulates all your, is it your autonomic, or sympathetic? I always confuse them. It's the automatic nerve things that go on, blood pressure and, the automatic responses. And so humming can really help your vagus nerve. And purring, I'm sure, helps it too. So that's another way we can bring into balance. And this, this one is just, this is me to you. You matter. Thanks for existing. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel balanced. You've been doing a great job considering all you've been up against. Life will always bend you, but trust me, you're too strong to break. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable, and today is a brand new day, and you're a brand new you. Good luck. I might argue with the brand new you. It's a brand new day, and you've got to deal with the same old you and break some of those habits, but you can do it. You can do it. Okay. They're just very sweet, sweet decks that look lovely and bring a little bit of humor. Humor and light and sweetness. Okay. Pardon me. Who's next? 3. Ooh, the Ethereal Visions. Such a deck. I gave my daughter her birthday reading with this deck, and oh my God, it was something else. It was just major after major after major after major, but all in a very cohesive reading that just was one of those readings of any questions? Nope. I'm doing it this way so I don't put my frickin' candle out again. Okay. Oh, we will bring the Earthbound out again and let them vibe for a few seconds while I have another drink of my cherry bubbly and read the messages. Okay, what's SST? Tavia, I'm blanking. Oh, Silver Spiral Tarot. Okay, cool. Listen to Tavia, Catherine. She's a very good astrologer. All right. Give these a shuffle or two, and then I will cut. All right. Earth. Okay, so we are talking about the physical body. We're talking about the planet herself. What would you like to tell us? Messages from Mommy. Oh, I forgot something. Okay, now we start. We have the 9 of Cups. What I forgot, because I thought I was 15 minutes early instead of 15 minutes late, is look at these really cool lights, these little leafy lights, because I don't look green enough with the lights as they are. Okay. 9 of Cups starts us off, so this is the Wish card. And the figure on this card looks very self-satisfied. Very self-satisfied. All right. I'm trying to decide, do I take them on either side or I'm going to go either side. Seven of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Okay. Ooh, man. I feel like I'm getting, like, message from the earth here. We've become very self-satisfied. And Seven of Wands talks about having to stand our ground against, I'm looking at the clouds here, I'm looking at the wands coming, and just this, you know, being on guard. And Knight of Wands says we need to get a move on if we are going to continue to live in any kind of balance on this planet. And there's two things about Nine of Cups. One of them is that, you know, the gratitude again of looking at how we have what we need and being very grateful for that, and not letting ourselves get too self-satisfied. It's so funny when, you know, a card can have a definite meaning, but you look at that image and it's like, something other than just, you know, the wish card, getting what you want. And it also can talk about just allowing ourselves to be satisfied. Hello. All right, hold on. I'm taking 3 down here. And there's the 10 of Wands. And there's the 8 of Wands. You saw me shuffle, right? And there's the 2 of Pentacles again. So there's our thread through. Hold on. So, there's so many levels to this card here. We can be self-satisfied, which stops us from kind of seeing the things that are out of balance and that we need to address. We can know that we need to allow ourselves to be satisfied with what we have. The Nine of Cups generally says, yay, I have what I want. So allowing ourselves to be satisfied with the abundance that we have. Look at these cards of this, talking about having to stand your ground and be very assertive, even aggressive with keeping things in balance, at bay, feeling set upon. And then we have 10 of Wands, which is carrying this really heavy burden. Knight of Wands says we need to get moving. So does the 8 of Wands. Things are happening fast. We need to move. Things are happening fast. So I'm looking at this and saying, you know, we're not going to be able to hold it back. The processes that have been happening now for a long time, and have been recognized for a long time, that human activity and coal and, you know, fossil fuels have been leading us in this direction of climate change. We are carrying a heavy burden. The earth is carrying a heavy burden. The changes, we can't hold off the changes. Things are happening swiftly. We need to get on the horse and go where things need to be done. The Knight of Wands can talk about change of residence, moving, traveling, change of residence, going, adventure, far afield. With this context, as far as Earth goes, it's telling me we just need to get a move on, that we need to be the heroes, you know, the climate heroes for bringing things back into balance. Here's the 2 of Pentacles again. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. You know, where I'm placing cards is just really random, you guys. The size of these makes this a very pleasing layout. I wish you could see the shininess of them. So 4 of Pentacles, we get so hung up with possession, the possession, us possessing the earth. Okay, hold on. And yet we kind of remain unsatisfied with our material wealth. the emperor over here, here we go, Jupiter and Leo again, is, you know, we need leadership to lead us out. We need that strong voice, although, you know, these days, that's one of the things that's falling apart, is just the setup that allows one strong voice to come out and be that kind of leader. I do want to tell you something, though, that's very, very good news. Going to get political for a second. Mitch McConnell today came out with a warning that the Republicans might not gain control of the Senate after the midterms. And it would seem that post-Dobbs ruling, voter registration is up, and new Democratic voters are out-registering Republicans, sometimes by 18% or more. You know, and it's mostly women. So, in Ohio is one of these states where new Democratic voters are outweighing Republicans by like 11 percentage points. So, how do you like that Dobbs now? Things could be backfiring, you know, in the best way possible. Anyway, you know, what I'm seeing here is just that we have become very self-satisfied with our position as, you know, user-uppers of the earth, and rather than custodians and caretakers of the planet. And so it's time to really get a move on. We have the earth herself is carrying heavy burdens and is trying to come back into balance, you know. This, I think, is kind of talking about tapping out resources. Look at the shinies. Letting loose of resources. And I just have an intuitive hit right here that there will be a lot more government money being resources that have been held back being spent towards, well, I mean, he's just signed a law that is going to shake loose a whole bunch of resources to fight climate change. So, you know, there's that, loosening up resources. And we do have a leader that is miraculously getting things done in this Congress, you know. And if we can gain enough seats to offset the faux Democrats, Manchin and Sinema, looking at you, then we can really move forward. So the Emperor is coming out here as the only major to this direction. Look at the Knight heading this direction, saying there is leadership. We do have someone trying to bring things back into balance, but it's a heavy burden, and things are a-coming. They're a-coming. So we can't just stop and go, stop, stop, stop. We got to get on the horse and ride, you know. Ride into the future, see where the leaders are taking us, and get on board. That's what I want to say about that. Interesting. Interesting combination there. Because it's like, you know, element earth, and I thought, no, this is just literally about the earth itself. So, I like that. Okay, where are we at now? 2, we already did 2. Give me something different. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, 4 is the earthbound. So now we're going to let the earthbound speak for itself. Okay. And I will contextualize this with the Astro Dice. So what do you want to tell us about being our own benevolent leader as far as our own self-care, our health, our habits, our, you know, our healthy habits? Okay. There's Leo's planet. I'm going to do what I did last week and just take 5 off the top here. Intuition, growth, travel, voice, and ceremony. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, this is all about ritual. This is all about ritual. Because, of course, ceremony here. But the sun, here is Sol shining on our planet. And, you know, the sun itself is prone to the cyclic changes that we go through. Everything goes through cyclic changes, including ourselves, including the earth, including the sun, including our galaxy, including the universe. And so a lot of climate change stuff is human caused. I think that the speed at which things are changing, certainly humans have contributed to. And the earth goes through her own catastrophic cycles. You remember all of those cultures that had stories about a great flood? There's a lot of evidence that these things actually happened. So, so the sun is going through its cycles, and our relationship to it is changing. So, and let's look at the sun just as a symbol here, not literally, but as a symbol of that leader and Leo shining the light on the path. What do we need to know to claim our own leadership here, to become that light shiner, the one that illuminates the path forward? Well, we use our intuition and we catalyze growth by doing astral travel, traveling actually, if we have that luxury, exposing ourselves to other cultures. Look at the monarch here, you know, this incredibly delicate, seemingly fragile being, living being that goes, what is it, thousands of miles? It's ridiculous. Thousands of miles in migration. And you're like, how do they get there whole? How do they not get ripped up by the wind, by storms? How did they even make it there? How did they survive that travel? So knowing that we can survive that kind of travel too, and how much stronger and, you know, more sturdy are we? All right, give me a second here. So intuition and growth talks about really following your nose as far as what is the next step on your individual path. So being your own leader forward really has a lot to do with connecting and knowing yourself and trusting yourself. Intuition functions on trust. Psychic gifts function on trust because they are things that seemingly come from out of the blue, and you may not have physical, visible evidence of the truth of them, but your intuition, this sense of yours, tells you the truth of it. You can feel the truth of the information when it comes in. The trust part is, and I'm going to act on that. All right? And when we do act on that, we move in the direction of growth. And when we act on things and we see the synchronicities popping, or you get that feeling of like when I'm shuffling the cards and I know what's coming out, and pow, there it goes, and you see me laugh my ass off, you know? Every reader goes through moments like this where you feel yourself drop into that slot. You drop into the zone. Here it is. You ready? Watch this. Bang. You know, I've had readings where it's like I've put three aces out and I'm talking to this person about the new beginning has already started. Anything you start right now is going to take hold. And then it's like I get this feeling, look at the bottom of the pack, and I go like this, and it's the fourth ace, you know? It's like there's just these incredible things and synchronicities and joyful happenings when you decide to trust that intuition. It takes you in the direction of growth. And I love on this card how we've got these little mushrooms growing in this enclosed glass bottle, but there's also little things growing outside of the bottle. So the bottle is not completely containing it. So we plug into our intuition, allow it to lead us in the way of growth, allow ourselves to travel into new territory, expanding the mind, expanding our own ability to tolerate, maybe even expanding our negative traits, like me being so fucking judgmental, letting it expand until the balloon pops. Pow, you know? Sometimes if you take some of your iffy habits and you just sort of, okay, if I take this to the extreme, what does it look like, you know? And then you know that you need to dial it back. But really just allowing ourselves to move beyond our accustomed territory. You know, Jupiter is all about adventure and exploration, so we explore. And we allow this voice of intuition to go through these things and to arise. Let it out your mouth, right? But what I saw when I initially put these cards down was just ritual and singing, drumming and singing, astral travel. You know, the sun is a star, astral travel. Thank you, Jessica. There she goes again. I am not touching this table at all. That's Jessica. That's my guide in the West. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for that confirmation of going in and letting your voice out in chant, in ritual. And what she went off about was, yes, astral travel. There is a Kelly Howell recording about astral travel, and it's not a guided meditation, it's just ambience and music, and then she's whispering like affirmations in your ear about your ability to go astral travel. I have been reading, it's in the bathroom, of course I can't remember the title of the book on dreaming. I'm reading the book on the Thoth Tarot that Tavia gave me, and I'm reading the book on dreaming that someone recommended to me. Someone. And I was flying in my dreams yesterday morning. I woke up and went, ooh, I've been flying. So my dreams are starting to strengthen, and I'm looking forward to these conscious journeys out of body. And ceremony here is, look at that balance, the black and the white, and look, we've got the solar disc there, we've got the solar disc there, and the solar disc there, and looky, right there too. So, you know, take the lead and let yourself go, let yourself explore, let yourself travel, let yourself expand your own consciousness. When we expand, you know, the times that we're in restrict us. They bring us into focus on critical things that are going on. And of course we want to know about them, and of course we focus on them because we want to solve these problems. And we have to remember that the higher and the broader the perspective, first of all, the more we are able to see the truth of things, the essential truth. And also, we can really get things in perspective, you know? So this is that strong call that we really need to work our magic. All the stuff, thank you, Jessica. She agrees. We need to work our magic. We need to get into ritual together. I need to do some more prayer circle live streams and ritual live streams. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I hear you. All right. Yow. Fun, fun, fun. Especially when, I've been sitting here. You've seen me bump this table how many times? You've seen it shake? That did not go off, right? Only just then when I wasn't touching it at all and said specific things. So fun, fun, fun. Okay. Messages. Yes, let's hope Mitch is correct. Oh, 19. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support. Okay, so Silver Spiral. Yep. Earthbound Misfit. Yes. Yeah. No kidding. I agree. Me too. Such light on this house for me, Tavia. Yay! Yay, Tavia. Don't ever apologize for it. Okay, wait a minute. Yes, Tavia. And yes, that Pluto-Jupiter conjunction. Pluto takes things to the extreme. And when it's in a health house like that, it says that you can go overboard and harm your health to your detriment. Because Pluto is so determined, it can just roll over, anything that your body's telling you. So, yay. Thank you so much, Tavia. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That's right. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. We already used that, let it shine. We already did that one too, let it shine. We did that one on, okay, dice. We already did 2 and 4. We did 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 and 6 are your choices here, darling. 6, thank you. I just had to tell it. What we have here is the Spiritual AF deck. And, let's take an Earthbound. I don't know how that'll work together, but we'll find out if it does work. Somebody dinged me. Who's dinging me? Ding-a-da-ding-ding. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. That's so exciting to me. So if you don't know what that is, you guys, it's a cat toy. And I've seen a lot of psychics that are using these as spirit devices because it only goes off when something bumps it. But as you've seen, the first 2 times it went off, my hands were not on this table at all, and you've seen me bump it many times. So, all right. Tara. Look at the sun disk and look at Tara. Okay, you guys. Wow. Things are going ding, ding, ding. Oh, that's my niece. Okay. Oh, that one just stayed there. This one says, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Pick one time in your life you've been hurt and ask how it made you golden. Did it make you more tender-hearted? Did it open you up when you were once closed down? Did that heartbreak lead you to more connection with spirit? Can you get just a little teensy tiny bit grateful for it? Fuck yeah, look at you. You're like a wounded disco ball inside. And it seems that she's going to just keep going. Okay, we can stop now. This is one of those very interesting places because I want to stay on the right side of everything happens for a reason. The traumas that you've experienced, you did not call in to you. Everybody experiences trauma at different times of life, and things happen that don't look like trauma to other people but feel like trauma to us. And so being grateful, I would say we're not going to be grateful for the trauma itself, for the incident. We are going to be grateful for the strength that we have, and that Ace of Swords that came out of our first deck there, that penetrating mind, that sharp insight, that ability to see consciously how we helped ourselves out, how we became the leader and got ourselves into a better place, and how we got to a place of, I'm not going to just let this be a waste. I'm going to put a purpose to it. I'm going to gain something from it. And then we take ourselves, to a lot of learning. Now, how that relates to Terra, and interesting that there's Earth and there's Terra. And the first Earth was talking about like more element Earth, and I read it as more Terra. All right, I'm going to take a couple more here, and we'll just see how it goes, because these messages are great, whether you can, wrap it all up in a neat little package with a bow or not. This one says, you are not your situation. One of the keys to becoming spiritual AF is to define who you are by something deeper inside yourself and further outside yourself than the world can touch. You are someone, even if you're not your financial situation, your job, your relationships, or even your body. Even if you aren't those things, you are someone. You are you. So, that means those other things don't define you. You are something other. You are something and. Find out who that person is, and you will be unfuckwithable. Hint, you'll probably have to do some soul searching. So, to define yourself by what you know, that thing on the Oracle of Delphi that said, know yourself. When you know yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses at that deep place, and then when you also define yourself by your knowledge, by your spirit, by that connection you feel to Source, and then that recognition that I am Source as well. When you can hook into that eternal, infinite, unlimited, undefinable, so unlimited. If you define something, you limit it, right? But that eternal spiritual part of yourself is indefinable. It is the great I am. It is the isness. It is spirit. When you define yourself by that, yes, you're unfuckwithable. The present moment is fucking amazing is the last one we get. Open up your eyeballs and look around. Even if you happen to be in the shittiest of shit times, they must know. There's probably something beautiful to notice right this very second. It could be that babies have eyelashes, and how could babies get any fucking cuter than having little baby eyelashes? Or maybe it's just that you took a breath and you didn't think you'd be able to do that. You did it. Amaze balls, you fucking breathed. How about you fucking breathed consciously? Consciously. So I'm looking at Terra here as just foundation. What is the foundation on which we stand? We know our inner strength. We can stop and look at how we have brought ourselves through every shitty day we've ever had. We've kept breathing through it, and we are learning to define ourselves beyond these externals like job and money and house and even what I look like in this shell that I am going to give back to Terra when I'm done with it. I give this back. She's loaned this to me. I'm keeping it alive by her good graces, and I'm going to give it back when I'm done. And when I have given it back, I will fully know who I am. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Okay. And the lastest one we have is Chubby Bun. Chubby Bun. Where are we at? Hour and a half. See, this is good. Having some lighter decks is... I don't have a headache. This is great. The Great Gig in the Sky, one of my favorite songs, Tavia. I will not attempt to sing that. I can sing This Little Light of Mine, but I will not attempt The Great Gig in the Sky, done by the incredible Claire Torrey. What a voice. Holy shit. And once she did that, she thought it absolutely sucked. She was like, oh, that's horrible. It sucks. And that was, you know, her improvisation. Okay. Lighter decks, yeah. You know, and that's what I was thinking. It's like, you know, we don't want frivolous messages, but a light touch. Just a light touch. Okay. Let's let them chat for a second or two. The end of the Buble. This deck was such a surprise. Okay, there we go. Phew. Wealth. A lot of earth on this Taurus moon. You know, a lot of earthy. Talking about balance, earth, Terra. Balance. What else did we have? I think that's been it, because then the one was, oh, Sol from that deck itself. And we did not take it for these. So yeah. So look at Sol and Earth. That's talking about the dance between the Earth and the Sun. And, you know, some of the flares that have been happening, there were several M-class, which some of those can get intense enough to take out some of the grid. So we have, wait, I want to do it this way. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Cups coming out, and we've got the King of Cups, the beginning and the end of the emotional, of our emotional connection. Then we have the Chariot, and then Four of Pentacles again. Interesting. So, ooh, no uncertain terms. The subject is wealth. And we have the Ace to the King of Cups. Where is our wealth? It is in our connection to each other. It is in our connection to ourselves and our own emotions, which are all about our experience of living in this body. Because emotions are physical. And they come as a reaction to our experience in this world. So the Ace of Cups is emotional energy altogether. Pardon me. Hold on. So we're being offered. Being in a body allows us this experience of emotions. There was a story about, I've told this so many times, you guys, I'm sorry, but they stay with me for a reason. That there was a senior lama that died at a monastery, and all of the practitioners are preparing him for burial, and they go to like the senior, the high lama, and he's weeping. Just inconsolably weeping. And all of the monks and students are very confused. And they go to him and say, they're distressed at his emotion. And they say, why are you weeping? Because, of course, being Buddhist, you believe in reincarnation, and particularly the Tibetan Buddhists, they have very solid experience of the evidence of reincarnation. And so they go to him, and it's like, this is just the shedding of the body. The person still exists and all this stuff. And so they go to this lama and go, why are you weeping? We thought you understood. And he says, oh, I do understand, but when else do I get an opportunity to weep? So, the wealth of experience on this planet, allowing ourselves to feel our reactions, and at the same time, not letting them run the show. That's the King of Cups. I am master in this area because I don't try to suppress my emotions or control my emotions, but I can observe them and learn from them and allow them to, connect me beyond this body to what's happening outside, my experience of outside, and stay in my center. You can be in this ecstasy of joy or grief and not, either trying to hold on to the joy, which is you grab on attachment suffering, or try to push away the grief, aversion suffering. So both joy and grief I will allow to wash through my body. I will feel them, knowing that I am strong enough. And like I used to tell the kids at Hogwarts, your emotions belong to you, but they aren't who you are. And so if you are in grief, it's not, and we tend to think of negative emotions as showing us that there's something wrong. Anger, maybe, yes, somebody's breached a boundary, something needs to be adjusted. Grief, something has been lost. But more importantly than that, something has been lost that was loved. So grief is a reflection of love. So this is just about the wealth of emotions from beginning to end, and understanding that we have the strength to weather them. And also we need to be aware of what I call infected emotion. For instance, grief is an emotion that ebbs and flows, changes and moves through. Depression is infected grief. It's stuck grief. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Stagnant. Stagnant water gets infected and icky. So water must flow. Look at the waves flowing around the king there. So we let the emotion flow without hanging on. Now, if you end up in some kind of like rage is infected anger, mania can be infected joy, or this, slap happy love and light kind of thing. But if you are in stagnant emotion like grief, like rage, and problems are like that, then my prayer for you is that either you or someone who cares for you is conscious enough to let you address that and get the water flowing again. Then we got Chariot and Four of Pentacles here. So Four of Pentacles talks about hanging on to money, talks about possessing, the emphasis being on possession, but the Chariot here is about movement. And so when we have our resources, we need to allow them to move towards where they need to be. Hold on, I'm waiting for the... Okay, reset the music. And look, we've got the Five of Wands now and the Seven of Cups. Let's see here. Let me take another. Interesting. Seven of Pentacles again. So, I don't know about wealth. This might be just a separate little message here. Five of Wands talks about tangled energies, things that aren't coordinated, efforts that don't have a purpose, that don't have a plan to them. Seven of Cups is about not being able to settle on a plan, not being able to decide what you want to do, this kind of decision. And it can also be indulging in illusionary thinking. Look at how these things are sitting in the clouds. So we can sometimes manufacture emotional situations that aren't actually happening. And, then we generate the emotions. And Seven of Pentacles talks about, let's take a look at that. Let's review that. Look at his kind of frowny face. Okay, here's what I've manifested. If we're going along haphazardly, so this is talking about, I'm looking at the crystals up here, and wealth being another manifestation of earth, right? But look at the structure of the crystals. Look at how they are regular and structured. So this is talking about the need for an actual plan. the need to have a point, a goal. What is it that I'm driving after? Even if you change it on a daily basis, having a plan, not just kind of floating along with the emotions. So that's kind of the downside of this, is just going with the flow of everything. I'm just going to go with the flow, you know. But here says we need to coordinate efforts. We need to have a plan that is based in reality. And if we don't, we're going to end up manifesting something that's just not really what we want. It's not going to be worth the work and the effort. Let's see, Page of Pentacles, structure, schooling, Four of Wands. Okay, so there's the structure that we built. I could just keep taking things. Ace of Wands here, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, getting something. Let's look at the base of the pack. There's that Seven of Wands again, 777. So I'm not going to keep going down that road. I think we got enough of a message there. So my friends, yes, an hour and 45 is easier, feels easier on my brain than 2 hours and 15 minutes or whatever we did last week. But I'm so glad that I was able to make it here tonight, and it seems we haven't had any kind of hiccups or anything with the stream, so that's a good thing too. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Our empathy is opening in all of us, and you're being asked to use it at the highest levels. Yes, Samantha, that's a good message. Oh, I love you, Darcy. I love you, Sam. I love all of you that have come in and hung out with me for these extended times. It's just amazing to me. See what your options are. That's when you can use emotions to gain clarity. Yep. Leads to the pinnacles, where you are planting things that you want to vibrate to around you. Absolutely. All right. Well, actually, folks, you know what? I really have to pee. See how much I love you guys. It's just like you know, you are in on into the inner sanctum here. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it already. If you've not subscribed to Jessica agrees. If you've not subscribed to me, please do that. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to send a little monetary support to the channel, there are a couple links down below to do that. There's an Amazon wish list that I keep adding stuff to, but you know, it is what it is. And so if you want to buy me a deck, I will read for you on my unboxing video. If you want to join my Patreon, I'm getting ready to shoot a new moon video that patrons will get before everybody else. Tomorrow, what the hell's going on tomorrow? I have a deck that, oh, yes, the deck that I gave to my patrons last week because I bought it with my Patreon money. It's called the Witching Hour. I will set that up to drop at midnight for you. It's a cool deck, so you'll get to see that. So if you join my Patreon, I use that money every month to buy myself a new deck. And if I get enough patrons, I might actually be able to start buying myself some indie decks. Although I am perfectly content to be a mass market collector. That's totally fine. Okay. Thank you all, everybody. Love you all, and we will see you next week. Okay, let me see. I'm catching up here. Literally stretched out using the other. When you were using the other. Oh, Dex, my body was deep. Awesome. All right. Yes. Love you all bunches. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your own wisdom and your guidance and everything else. You are just beyond compare. I will see you next time. Till I do. This is Luna. Blessed be.